Do you need something fun to do with your friends? Escape rooms are an incredible way to spend time with friends, family, and loved ones. And Escapology is the largest and best escape room franchise in the world. They have escape rooms such as Scooby-Doo, Murder on the Orient Express, The Code, and Under Pressure, and another brand new themed room coming this summer. On Tuesdays through May 31st, buy one full-price ticket and a second person plays free. Use the code TWOFER, that's TWOFER. Visit Escapology.com for more information. Again, that's Escapology.com. Escapology is located at 82 Macomb Place in Mt Clemens. Escapology, where time is of the essence. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the GioMoShow. Sorry for the hard cut on the music there. But this is the GioMoShow on 88.3 FM WXOU, Auburn Hills, Michigan, Oakland University. Station identification complete. I'm your host, Giovanni Mosheri, sports media director here at WXOU, and the GioMoShow is your home for all Oakland sports and beyond on 88.3 FM. You can follow WXOU all over social media, as we have been awarded by the Michigan Association of Broadcasters for our social media, so I would definitely recommend a follow. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, wherever you can find us. We got a Discord server you can find, all on our website, WXOU.org. Don't forget to follow me as well while you're on all that social media. If you're live with me right now on YouTube, then the social media is in the description, and social media is on the video. But if you're with me afterwards on YouTube and Spotify, then not to worry. You'll get the social media. You'll find it somehow. I got it linked everywhere. So don't you worry. You'll be able to keep up with all the details of the show. The GioMoShow has its own Instagram account that you can keep up to date with there. So there's no way to miss the GioMoShow. Every episode gets uploaded as a podcast to YouTube and Spotify as well, so you can take me wherever you are. And finally, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube to WXOU Sports. We got the sports specifically on its own YouTube channel. We got live streams of games. We got highlights, interviews. We got game recaps, full cuts of the broadcast. We got everything you need, including shows dealing with sports from WXOU. So definitely go and subscribe to WXOU Sports. And at 1 o'clock today, right after the GioMoShow, we got an interview releasing between me and Libby Gentile of Oakland University Volleyball. She has an incredible story of her growing in the sport of volleyball a little bit later than most, and with her identical twin sister. They played volleyball all in the early years, so you get to hear her story, her comeback from injury. She has an incredible story to tell, so we get that coming up at 1 o'clock on WXOU Sports. Don't forget to go and watch that right after here on the GioMoShow. So for today's menu, now that we're in the offseason of the NFL, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I do my best to not get caught in the NFL offseason talk, as honestly I find it quite boring, because nothing is going to be as exciting as the game, so I don't want to try and drag it on and pretend like it is. Thus, we will be focusing a lot more on Oakland sports, especially now that we've got the crossover between baseball and softball, the spring sports, and basketball, men's and women's. We got kind of the crossover there, so we got a lot more Oakland sports to talk about. So this show will be exclusively Oakland University sports, of the club variety and of the NCAA variety. We're going to have both the basketball teams covered today, men's and women's. I'm doing this in order here so you guys can kind of pay attention to it. We got men's and women's basketball are going to be our first topics. We got Swim&Dive winning the Horizon League again. That'll be the next segment. And then we talk about baseball getting started in a 3-game series in California. As we're going to be getting into the baseball, like I said, softball will be starting next week, so we'll get coverage of that. And, of course, we'll sprinkle in Oakland University D3 club hockey. They're in the playoffs and already 2 games winning into the playoffs. So we'll talk about them as we cover them on WXOU Sports as well. And then finally, as far as broadcast goes, what can you expect from WXOU? Well, Thursday night, we have Recwell 5v5 basketball championship game. We have the 5v5 championship game. That's going to be held in the arena, and we'll have the broadcast for you guys here on WXOU, because not only do we love the club sports here, not only do we love the NCAA sports here, but the Recwell sports, we'll call it the more casual level of sports here, I still believe them to be worthy of coverage, especially that championship in the arena. So we'll have that broadcast Thursday night. Time is still yet to be determined. Be sure to keep up to date at OU Recwell's Instagram and other social media platforms that they are on. But then Sunday in the afternoon, Sunday, I believe, 3 o'clock, men's basketball will be facing Wright State to finish out the Horizon League season series between us and the Raiders. Oakland already up 1 game on them as they beat them handily in the Nutter Center just a few weeks ago. We also had that one on WXOU. Sunday, 3 p.m. will be that broadcast. So now let's finally get into it. I did all my spiel. I gave you guys the information. I gave you guys a heads up on everything. So if you're out there and you're saying like, oh, I don't know when the broadcasts are, I don't know what topics we're covering here on the GioMo Show, don't give me that. You were here. You heard it. Anyway. All right, so let's kick things off with men's basketball. They had 2 games this week. One was on the road to finish out a 3-game road stand, if you could call it a road stand, a road trip, if you will. Finishing off a 3-game home or away trip against Purdue Fort Wayne, and then they also came back home to play IUPUI. So let's talk about Purdue Fort Wayne first. So as mentioned, this is the 3rd road game in a row for Oakland at this point, and Wednesday night was the finale of such series. They lost the first one in overtime against Northern Kentucky. They won the second one against Wright State in the Nutter Center. We were there at WXOU. I called play-by-play. It was freaking awesome. And now they finish it off in Purdue Fort Wayne, winning 71-63 over the Mastodons, although it was a lot closer than the score would indicate at the end. So, to kind of set the stage for this game as well, this was an early slated Horizon League game. This was the second one of the season that was played on December 2nd here in the arena, and Purdue Fort Wayne turned into aliens. They were incredible shooting-wise. They scored almost 100 points on us and shot 60%, above 60% from the field and from 3. It was a jaw-dropping event that we saw here in the arena, and it was just, you couldn't believe what you were seeing. And they had an early tear in the Horizon League coming off of that game, but now they've kind of settled in to near, we'll call it near above average in the Horizon League standings. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but about upper middle pack of the Horizon League, I would say. So there's a lot on this game to try and get revenge, and as close as the league has been this year, you don't want to have a sweep against you. You at least want to split it. And that's what the Golden Grizzlies did. The game did start off close, but Oakland did start to take control of the game as it got closer to halftime, going up by 10 at the half. But this is a road game in the Horizon League, so a 10-point lead is not as strong as you would think it would be. And Purdue Fort Wayne would end up closing the gap. Oakland got the lead up to 15, but then Purdue Fort Wayne got the lead back themselves, going up by 4 halfway, or I would say, we'll call it the third quarter, to put it that way. They had a 4-point lead, and it was looking like the lead and the game was slipping away from Oakland as they got the home crowd back involved in it. They were starting to light up the same way they did in the arena, and it was getting pretty concerning at that time. But Oakland was able to regain control of it, because that's what good teams do on the road. They don't let the crowd get back into it, and they don't let it avalanche and snowball as the lead might be looking like it's slipping away. That's what happened in that game. Blake Lemon and DQ Cole were key in staving off that early run for Purdue Fort Wayne, nailing 3s each. And DQ Cole, he got 2 of them in that run of Oakland regaining the lead. So Oakland would continue to dig themselves out all the way up to end the game with an 8-point victory. 71-63 was the final score in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the Allen Country War Memorial Coliseum. And little highlights from this game. That shot that Blake Lampman made to help Oakland stave off the Purdue Fort Wayne run, that ended up being his 1,000th point in his career. The walk-on Golden Grizzly, the 5th year, the established leader, finally got to 1,000 points in Purdue Fort Wayne. But he was not alone in such accomplishments. Oh, no. Rocco Watts was right there beside him to get his 1,000th point in the game as well. Neither players had too much time to celebrate it as it was middle of the game. You can go to Golden Grizzlies on YouTube and find an interview with each, with Patty Cesarini talking about their 1,000th point and how that road trip went. So go check that out on Golden Grizzlies' YouTube channel. But now the Golden Grizzlies have 4 players at 1,000 points. Trey Townsend, I believe he already made the 1,500 milestone this season, but last season he made his 1,000th. Earlier this season, Jack Golke, he made his 1,000th, and now Rocket and Blake join them in the 1K club. Stats for this game: Jack Golke led the team in scoring, making 6 threes in the game, along with 5 of 8 from the line to give him a Golden Grizzly leading 23 points, along with 3 rebounds and a couple of assists. DQ Cole was right behind him, 5 of 7 from the field and 4 of 5 from 3. 14 points for DQ Cole. And then Chris Conway got 12. Trey Townsend got 11 just to get the double-digit scores in the house. And once again, final score with that one was the Golden Grizzlies winning on the road, 71-63 over the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. And they followed that one up with a fireworks show in the arena against IUPUI, the Jaguars team that was just coming off of a loss to Detroit Mercy. They are still the only team in the country to have that claim, to be beaten by Detroit Mercy, giving them their first win, giving that one fan who ran onto the courts in celebration something to celebrate. I love that video. The one guy, you guys can look it up. It got national news of Detroit Mercy getting their first win. There's that one fan who's waving his arms, he's pumping his fists down in Callahan Hall. And honestly, I relate to that. I love that attitude. I like to think that if I was in that situation, I would also storm the court. So it was great for Detroit Mercy. I know they're all rivals, but listen, it's probably better that they got their first win before we face them at the end of the season. So good for Purdue Fort Wayne, or excuse, what am I talking about? Good for Detroit Mercy, not good for Purdue for IUPUI, as they came into the arena and did not hold up very well. So we called this game on WXOU, as we do for all home games. I was in the studio for this one, and the stats were having trouble refreshing from the studio here. So at the beginning of the game, it was a little bit sloppy from Oakland, I'm not going to lie. As the Jaguars, it was like we're leading like 6-4. I mean, like these were like the opening minutes. But IUPUI was kind of leading it for a little bit of the beginning, and you're thinking like, oh no. I mean, like I hope Oakland didn't sleep on this team, and I hope that IUPUI isn't like that motivated and upset for losing to Detroit that they're gonna make a statement here. But as I refreshed the page, a few minutes went by, we're up by 20. It was just like that. It was instantly, the flamethrowers were lit in the arena as Oakland just buzzsawed the Jaguars. Final score was a season high 107-59. So close to 50 points for the win, but we'll have to deal with 48 as a winning margin. So not much to talk about in terms of game plan, in terms of storyline. It was just a beatdown of the. I believe Oakland's around ranked 130th in the country, and IUPUI I think is literally one away from last. Like, I mean, we'll call it like it is. IUPUI is literally one of the worst teams in the country. So is it a surprise? Is it a big accomplishment? No. Was it fun? Hell yeah, it was. It was awesome. So to get to the stat sheet here, Jack Golke, remember last game he made 6 threes and led the team with 23 points. He did so again, but instead of making 6 threes, he made 10 threes in the game. That's the most of this season. He scored 31 points, which is the most of this season as well. He set plenty of season highs for the Golden Grizzlies, and if you're watching on YouTube, I just lost the video. let me get that back. Luckily that this is also released as a podcast. There we go. Yeah, don't forget that the show is also being turned into a podcast shortly after for YouTube and Spotify. But we're back on video, and we're back ready to roll. So getting back to the stats, Jack Golke, 31 points, 10 of 15 from 3. He was and one-did on one of them, and he made the shot to give him the nice odd-numbered 31. I think it's a prime number. I don't know why I was thinking that. But in addition to that, Rocket Watts, 15 points, 6 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3. He didn't miss a lot. And then 14 points was held by Osei Price, who got the start in this game. We did not see a whole lot of Osei before this game, but Blake Lampman not being played in the game. It was reported that it was an injury. I have yet to get any information as to the nature or to what it is. My speculative theory is that they just sat Blake Lampman because it was IUPUI. But either way, he wasn't playing, and Osei got the start, and he was involved pretty early in the game, finishing, like I said, with 14 points, 5 of 9 from the field, made 2 threes with 5 boards. Like, we haven't seen him in a while, and it was a big welcome back. We had an interview with him after the game as well, so another reason to go to WXOU Sports. Talk to him about it. He's a great interview. As short as some of the answers were, he was very straight up. He wanted to put on a show for the crowd. He got his opportunity, and he knew he had to take advantage of it, and stood on business. In addition to that, for double-digit scores, Trey Townsend had 12, 3 of 6 from the field, and made 6 free throws to get him to that 12 points. So, the fireworks show was sure a lot of fun to listen to, as it was most likely to watch, and Oakland wins it once again, 107 to 59. They are now tied for top in the Horizon League with Green Bay. Just need Green Bay to lose one game to get Oakland that number 1 spot. But as it stands right now, they are tied with Green Bay for the number 1 seed. And coming up, they got their last road game at Robert Morris this Thursday, the 22nd. And then they will come back home to finish out the series against Wright State Sunday at 3 o'clock against the Raiders. You can hear that right here on WXOU. So that will wrap up the opening segment of the JoMo Show. It was men's basketball, and if you're tuning in just now and you missed it, you can skip back on YouTube. You can listen back to it on the podcast to make sure that you get your knowledge and your info and your storylines of Golden Grizzlies men's basketball. Coming up next after the break, we will get into women's basketball. They had just one game this week. It was a road one, and unfortunately, a tough loss for the Golden Grizzlies. We'll get into the details after this break. And we're back here on the JoMo Show, 88.3 FM, WXOU. It's time now to go over our women's basketball games of the week. The women's team only played one game. This one was on the road against the top-seeded number 1 Cleveland State Vikings. This one was a close game, and if you guys looking at the final score, then you might be misled into thinking that it wasn't. But I will give you that final score. Oakland lost to the first-place Vikings 63-78 down in the Wolstein Center. And to give you the game flow here, how did the game kind of go? So, Oakland, they did start off with an early lead in the opening minutes, but it didn't take long for Cleveland State to get back that lead and to take it in the first quarter. Although Oakland, in the after the first quarter and into the second, going into halftime, they kept it between a couple of possessions there. So Oakland was hanging with the Vikings in their place for a little bit there, but slipped a little bit at halftime as they got down 9 points going into the tunnel. But Oakland came out in the second half, still keeping the game close. Got it down to a 2-point deficit midway through the third quarter, and they would end the third quarter. Excuse me, I was reading my notes. So they got it up to 2 points in the middle of the third quarter, and they would end the third quarter only being down by 3, setting the stage for the fourth quarter that could really be anybody's game in those final 10 minutes in the Wolstein Center. But unfortunately, that's when Cleveland State opened up a can of you-know-what and ended the game leading by 15 and giving us a final score of 63-78, a win for the Vikings. But Oakland was hanging tough with some of the best in the Horizon League. We've seen them been able to punch up as they beat the team that's tied with Cleveland State for first place, Green Bay. We saw them win it in the last second here in the OU Credit Union Arena. Well, not here as to where I am, but here at Oakland. But we've seen the ability for them to punch up, but just this one could not close the deal against the Vikings. Once again, final score 78-63. Vikings win. Some stats of the game. Linda Van Schaik led the Golden Grizzlies in scoring 18 points on 6 of 14 from the field, made 4 of 7 threes as well. Brooke Quarles-Daniels 10 points on 5 of 8 from the field with 6 rebounds and 4 assists as well to get the top scoring highlighted stats for the Golden Grizzlies. They now go on the road to face the Wisconsin teams, that being Green Bay and that being Milwaukee. They'll face Green Bay this Thursday at 8 p.m., and they will face Milwaukee Saturday at 3 p.m. So that'll close out the quick segment on women's basketball. We're going to lump this in with OU D3 club hockey. No. You guys heard the word club, and I know your ears turned off. Do not be misled. Do not be a simple thinker in that way. When we say club hockey, it's more of a technicality because Oakland has 2 teams, D1 and D3, that are part of the American Collegiate Hockey. I forgot what the ACHA Association, the American Collegiate Hockey Association. They play against teams across the nation, and Oakland's pretty good here in the D3 category. So for this weekend, it was the playoffs. It started off with a game against Northwood. Oakland was playing in the Michigan Collegiate Hockey Conference Eastern Playoffs. That's the bracket that they're in, and they started off a game with Northwood, the team that they just finished off the regular season with a 2-game series, of which Oakland got no wins out of it. The first game they played against the Timberwolves, the Northwood Timberwolves, that first game was a loss in overtime, and then the second game that they played was a tie in overtime. So Oakland had a salty taste in their mouth after that game, and they had to face them again to open up the round of the playoffs. We were there at WXOU to cover the game. We went on the road there. Listen, our hockey guys, Drew Allison and Noah Stalker, those guys are fantastic. D3 hockey, allowing us to go and cover them and have us do interviews with them and really get some good content and coverage for you guys. Big thank you to D3 Hockey, first and foremost, for letting us get that broadcast up and being so supportive. Listen, I'll get to the game in a bit, but I just want to say what D3 Hockey does for us at WXOU Sports is amazing. Those are some of our biggest videos that we have up on the YouTube channel, which you should subscribe to. But they give us some of our biggest viewerships, whether it's a live stream of the game, whether it's coverage and interviews and stuff. They D3 Hockey, that's a deep bench in terms of the fandom there. So we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and for supporting us at WXOU in that coverage. But either way, we were on the road there. We were covering the game. We had it live on YouTube, and I was there listening to it. And this game in the opening rounds of the playoffs was crazy. This was Friday night against the Timberwolves. It was a slow start to the game. It was defensive to start off in the first period. The first 20 minutes went by with no goals scored. But you can tell that it was getting a little bit chippy. You can tell that these teams were a little bit, not the best of friends on the ice at least. But first period would end with no scoring. And then the second period would have a bit of a similar story, although the intensity definitely was increasing in the second period. You heard more hit. You heard Drew and Noah. They were talking about more hits. They were talking about a little bit of a scuffle going on a couple of times on the ice, but still no goals scored yet. Oakland had a lot of time in the offensive end of the ice and weren't able to get the puck through the net. But you can tell that the pressure cooker in the building was about to reach its max, and the third period is where that max was reached. Is where that boiling over was starting to happen. And forgive me if it's a little bit out of order in terms of the story, but overall it was pretty rare that we saw throughout the whole game, not just the third period, but it was pretty rare that you saw 5-on-5, full-powered hockey on both sides. That penalty box was kept warm all night. Man, there were players going in and out of there the entire game long. But the third period is when it really got wild. Oakland, they broke the seal in scoring. They got the first goal of the game. They added another one on top of it to go up 2-0 in the third period. And we saw multiple ejections from the Northwood side. I mean, before that, we were seeing 5-minute majors assessed. Like I said, penalties everywhere. It was from a coach's perspective, a very undisciplined and uncharacteristic game. But from a fan, it was just the craziest stuff that I could be listening to from the studio end. And we got a player ejection from Northwood. And after Oakland scored their third goal, I believe this happened after the third goal because they went up 3-0 in this third period. The head coach of the Timberwolves was sent into the locker room to join his player to think about what they've done. It was after the third goal was scored. The coach was furious. The coach couldn't believe what he was seeing. I don't know if it was a dispute with the officials, but anyway it was, the play sheet and clipboard was thrown at the referee. That initially got the ref's attention and sent him to the locker room, but not before that, not before he got through the doors. I'm not kidding when I say this. This is on the live stream. Noah and Drew were talking about it. On the way out, the coach threw a Zamboni tire on the court. I mean, like the big rubber thing that goes on the machine. He threw it onto the ice in a fit of rage as his team was going down 3-0. I've never heard anything like this. Our broadcasters, they don't even know where the tire came from. They were just assuming that it was from the Zamboni. For all we know, he could have brought the tire and say, I'm going to throw this thing, watch, bet. But the tire was on the ice and he was out of there. And then after that happened, 1 goal, 2 goal, 3. After that, to make the final score 6-0 over the Timberwolves in one of the wildest hockey games that I've ever heard, and I'm sure that the Golden Grizzlies have ever played in. It was incredible to watch. Go back to the YouTube live stream. Go to the third period. I believe it happened in about the middle of it, but just listen to that third period. Honestly, I should release it on its own, but it was the wildest hockey that I've ever experienced. So that happened. Oakland advances to the second round of the we'll just shorthand call it the Michigan Eastern playoffs, and they got to face Saginaw Valley State in that game. Now, I'm not going to have the whole details. I don't know the whole story of this game as we didn't cover this one like we did the Northwood game, but in that game, coming off of the wildest game, Oakland was able to continue their run in the playoffs by beating the Cardinals 3-2 to continue further into the playoffs. Now, the playoffs are run a little bit in a complicated way, so I encourage you guys to go and find out more information on Oakland D3 Hockey's website and to follow them on social media to get your coverage through them, as they do a great job of covering their own team. So be sure you can go to their website for more information and find out who they have next, find out when the game is next to continue into the playoffs, because this team's does not want to just show up. This team wants to go all the way. This team has high expectations and the talent to back it up to make a run in the playoffs. They've been in the top 25 in the country the entire season, up to the number 6 team at one point, and they want this badly. Going into this weekend, they were ranked 16th, but the final rankings will be coming out soon, and I'm sure that these games will boost their rankings a little bit. But this team, they want it, and they want it bad. So be sure to keep up with them, follow them on social media, go to their website, and support your D3 hockey. Whew. That was a lot. We just covered women's basketball, and we just covered D3 hockey. So we're going to be taking a break here before we get into swim and dive and baseball of Oakland University as we passed halfway here on the GioMoShow. But before we go, I got to tell you about the Blue Ski Mask Show. We got this show here Tuesdays at 4 o'clock on WXOU. We'll have it up on WXOU Sports as well to listen at any time. They got it up on Spotify. But what is the Blue Ski Mask Show? Well, sit tight and I'll tell you. It is the ultimate radio show for football and basketball aficionados in the Motor City. Hosted by the Oakland Post, sports editor Brock Hillig and sports reporter Kirk Szymanski take you on an exhilarating ride through the world of Detroit Lions and Detroit Pistons sports. Well, generalize it that way. Get ready for in-depth game analysis, player spotlights, game reviews, and expert insights, all centered around the NFL and NBA action in the Motor City. Join us to stay connected with the heartbeat of the city's sports scene and never miss a beat of the action on the Blue Ski Mask Show, Tuesdays at 4 o'clock on WXOU, and afterwards on WXOU Sports and Spotify. We'll be right back with Swim&Dive winning the Horizon League and baseball starting off their season in California right here on The GioMoShow. And we're back here for The GioMoShow, 88.3 FM WXOU, your home for Oakland sports and beyond. Today is a dedicated show of just Oakland sports, and we got a couple more coming up. If you're joining me right now and you missed it, we covered men's basketball, women's basketball, and D3 hockey. So you can rewind here on YouTube. You can go to Spotify afterwards for the podcast version, rewind it, and find out what's going on in those sports as well. But for now, we got a Horizon League championship to talk about. We got a tradition continuing in Indianapolis. We got over 40 years for the men and over 25 years for the women. The tradition continuing in the Horizon League championships. It's Swim&Dive throwing on another banner down in the Oakland Aquatic Center. This one was the first Horizon League championship in over 40 years without head coach Pete Hovland, Michigan Sports Hall of Famer, class of 2015, I think. This is the first time without him at the head coaching helm. Rather, it was former assistant coach, now head coach Mitch Alters, a former swimmer here at Oakland University, swam under Hovland, just like every other Oakland swimmer basically has been. But he was promoted to the job after Hovland's retirement was announced last year, and he has continued the tradition of Horizon League championships of competitive swim all day, every day here at Oakland University, and they do it this year in Indy. And there's a lot to cover. Listen, swim meets, I will admit, are a difficult sport to cover in an audio format. So to kind of rapid fire this a little bit, I will go to the Swim&Dive Instagram. I mean, they were flooding their Instagram and social media feeds because, not to annoy us, no, to tell us what's going on and to tell us all the wonderful accomplishments that happened in Indianapolis for the Horizon League Championship. So let's scroll through it. As mentioned, both the men and the women won the Horizon League this year. We have Freshman of the Year, Clarissa. We'll try this. We'll try his last name live. Clarissa Bezudenot. I think I was close enough. We got Freshman of the Year. We got Women's Diving Coach of the Year, Larry Albright. We got new record set in the 200 flying by Jordan Ships. School record time 1:58.58. Excuse me, this one is kind of on the fly. We have Clarissa winning the 200 back. We have, excuse me for this being unorganized, but it's a lot to cover here. We had Jack Wick winning the 100 back for the men. We had a new record set in the 100 fly, both a school record and a league record by Jordan Ships as well. 53.04. It's literally faster than my 100 free in high school, and she did it in butterfly. God, these people are fast. These Golden Grizzlies are fast. I used to swim in high school, so that's what I mean by that. For those who don't know my sports history, but yeah, Jordan Ships swims 100 fly faster than I did 100 free in high school. Like it's incredible to me. Going through here, a top 8 finish in the 100 back by 3 Golden Grizzlies. Golden Grizzlies got the 4th, 5th, and 8th place for the men in the 100 back. In the 100 fly for the women, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, and 8th place, all Golden Grizzlies. We have a new school and league record for the 200 IM, 144.66 by Jack Wick. Or Wyke. Forgive my last names here. Top 8 finishes in the 500 free. 4th place, 5th place, 7th place by the women. Scrolling down, new record in the 200 medley relay by the men. Harry Nicholson, Christian Bart, Colin Martin, Charlie Brown. New record for the 200 medley. Champions in the 800 free relay, Jordan Ships, Nora Molnar, Mia Englender, and Sam Thiessen. 800 free relay champions. And probably more beyond that. That is just from the social media. So what the picture that I'm painting for you guys is that we did it again. This is a yearly tradition in Oakland sports. This is business as usual, and if you were to ask the players, it never gets old. They get a ring every year, and I think at this point they might as well just make all the rings now for like the next few years, just to save yourself a little bit of time. Just order extra rings for the Golden Grizzlies, as they just get them every year. And those are some bad pieces. If you see a swimmer, like, ask them to see the ring. Like, those things are beautiful. And I'm sure they got some just hanging around in their backpack too. I mean, they're just everywhere. Anyway, so yes, that is the Horizon League Championship for swim and dive. Over 40 years in a row for the men. I believe it's like 25 plus for the women. And even then, I think that streak was only broken by like 1 year for conference championships. Not just Horizon League. I mean, like every conference that Oakland has been in, they have been winning. So, with that, that'll finish up the swim and dive. Let's get into baseball now for the GioMoShow. We might end a little bit early here, but not to worry. Before we get into baseball, let me tell you about another WXOU show. It's the Eli Andrews Show. Not a sports show, rather it is a hilarious interview show for you guys to listen to Thursdays at 10 p.m. After 10 p.m., the FCC guidelines die down a little bit. Swear words are allowed. Ooh. Adult content is allowed. Ooh. And Eli and Andrew take full advantage by asking their guests the wildest questions that you can imagine. And it's questions that they don't know what they're going to ask before. They give each other the questions, and they read the questions out live for their guests. Thursdays at 10 o'clock on WXOU is the Eli Andrews Show, so be sure to join in on the fun right here on WXOU. So let's get into baseball here. Baseball has started their season in California against St. Mary's College of California in a 3-game series in what I would assume is much nicer weather. First game was a big win for the Golden Grizzlies. They won 5-0. They started the scoring in the top of the third inning with a single run, but then the 5th inning is where they, got their shovels out and started digging the grave of St. Mary's, to be dramatic here, and started digging a hole for St. Mary's. 3 runs in the 5th inning, and then tacked another one in the 6th to give them the 5-0 win in the first game of that day's doubleheader. This was Friday. But the second game was a bit of revenge for St. Mary's. Scorings didn't start until the bottom of the 4th inning when St. Mary's got 4 runs to start off the game. Oakland returned it with 5 at the top of the following top of the 5th. Score was now 4-2 at this point, but then St. Mary's really piled it on. Another 5 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning, holding Oakland to nothing in the following, and piled on more with 4 runs, the bottom of the 7th. Final score of that one was 2-13 against St. Mary's. And then, so that was the second game of the doubleheader on Friday. Sunday was the 3rd game of the series. Oakland looking to get the win of the series, and they almost got it too. St. Mary's got the lead early, going up 5-0 at the bottom of the 3rd, with runs in the 1st and the 3rd inning. Continued it in the 4th, going up 6-0 before Oakland got their first run in the top of the 5th. St. Mary's were returning with another 2, and then 3 on top of it to get their 11 runs in the game. But Oakland was not done yet. The top of the 8th inning would see Oakland score 5 runs to get them within range of the comeback. They held St. Mary's to nothing at the bottom of the 8th, and then with the final chance to get the comeback in the game, Oakland, top of the 9th, fell just a little bit short. Only 2 runs were scored to give Oakland just 8 runs, not enough to overcome the 11. Thus, St. Mary's wins the game and the series with a score of Game 3, 11-8 against Oakland. Almost had the comeback in that one, almost got the win in the series to open up the season for the 2-time runner-up of the Horizon League Golden Grizzlies. So real quick, we'll also talk about baseball. We'll talk about the preseason of the Horizon League rankings. They came out a couple of weeks ago. Allow me to pull that up real quick. As they released graphics of it on the social media too. But Oakland is ranked up there in the Horizon League to start off the season here. Oakland, hold on. Forgive me, we're doing this live here. Let me just go to the Horizon League website. One moment here. We're doing this on the fly here. Listen, the NFL coverage did kind of extend the length of the show here, so pardon me for that. So getting now to the preseason poll for the Horizon League. Here we go. For the 2024 baseball season, Wright State will claim the top seed in the preseason polls as they typically do so. Wright State baseball is fantastic. Oakland lost to them twice in the past 2 seasons in the championship game of the Horizon League tournament. But Oakland this year not seated at 2nd, but rather seated at 3rd, as Northern Kentucky has taken the 2nd spot in the preseason polls. Oakland will sit at 3rd in the league. Going now to the returning 2023 all-league selections. Again, this is for the preseason. Oakland's Brandon Decker, Ian Cleary, Hunter Piddock, and Reggie Bussey are receiving first-team honors, as well as Ian Cleary returning for the all-academic team. So we got some we got some studs up there in the league predictions for this season. So just kind of paint the picture for you guys as to where Oakland is sitting in the Horizon League. And to get a little bit more detailed, so looking at the preseason polls here, the all-conference team, Brandon Nye, Hunter Piddock, Brandon Heidel, and Brandon Decker will be part of the starting all-conference team in the preseason. I'm getting a little confused here as to how everything's organized. Like, again, you guys can go to the Horizon League's website, get the official read here, but this is the GioMoShow reading it live for the first time here to get the show rolling here. Right-handed pitcher freshman of the year will go to Brody Krysiak. Oof, I'm gonna have to work on that name as I'm calling games this season. But the Golden Grizzlies, to generalize and to paint the whole picture and to sum up what is the disorganized readings that I'm doing now, Oakland's up there. Oakland's got studs in the Horizon League. They're looking to once again make it back to the championship game and finally get where they need to be and get a ring on their finger for the Horizon League. And there's got interviews with Patty Cesarini and head coach Jordan Banfield. Talk with him about the season. You can find that on Golden Grizzlies social medias, however you find it. But it's looking up to be a great season for the Golden Grizzlies in baseball. We'll have coverage of all those kinds of games on WXOU. The broadcasts are still yet to be scheduled, but be sure to know that we'll be calling games of baseball, not just to end it at basketball. We can't do that here on WXOU. We keep it going. We keep you guys informed and connected with your Golden Grizzlies sports wherever you are, whether you're at the Oakland Baseball field that has recently been turfed, and it looks beautiful. Softball field got similar treatment as well. But if you're not there on the diamond, and for students it's free baseball, so just saying that for those who want to attend the game. For students, all Oakland events are free, so not every school does that. I want to point that out to you guys. Not every school has free D1 sports for students. So while you're here at Oakland, while you're a student, while you got that nice little pretty ID card, take advantage of it. That's my advice to you as a senior on his way out here at Oakland University. You guys, you know what? Yeah, let's finish off the show. I got the last 10 minutes here. Let's finish off the show with that. Sorry, we're freehanding it here. But to kind of go on a bit of a soapbox here, what I have learned here from my time at Oakland University, so to kind of, when I got here, my freshman year was during COVID, so obviously I wasn't going to be paying attention to a whole lot of the sports here. I didn't come to Oakland for the sports here. I came here for engineering. But I didn't quite enjoy the COVID year being online, being stuck at home, so the sophomore year, the decision was made for me to come onto campus and to really, entrench myself and surround myself with the culture and the experience being at Oakland University. So I was in the dorms for a little bit. But even then, that sophomore year, I didn't quite go to a whole lot of sports. Went to a couple basketball games. Went to Kendrick Nunn night. Got to see Jamal Cain play a little bit here in the arena. But again, it wasn't a whole lot of basketball. Wasn't a whole lot of sports involvement for me. But it was around that time, after my sophomore year, it was, I told myself, listen, I'm going to go to more of these games. I'm going to enjoy the sports here at Oakland because naturally I'm a sports fan, and for me, I a little more predisposition to enjoying sports. We'll put it that way. In other words, I'm not much of a hater. So, if I'm there, I'm going to enjoy it. It's my school. I'm going to do that. But, when I really started going into games and it's kind of formed into calling games here for WXOU, I learned just how incredible the sports here at Oakland University. Now, listen, no, the basketball team's not going to the NCAA tournament every year. It's not where the Horizon League is. No, we're not Kentucky. No, we're not Kansas. Listen, not every school can be that, and I find it unrealistic to expect that out of your university to always be constantly on national TV and stuff, because if you wanted that, then you would have gone to a university like that. But no, you're here at Oakland. You guys here are Golden Grizzlies, and I take great pride in being a Golden Grizzly and to support my teams to enjoy the sports here at Oakland University because I'm so prideful about it. The fact that the sports are free, there's no easier way to enjoy your home teams of sports. You guys, whether you like it or not, are going to be Golden Grizzlies for life. Whether for a long time or a short time, whether you're transferring or coming from another college, the Golden Grizzlies is going to be a part of you for the rest of your life. I, for one, rather enjoy that. I take advantage of that. Since it's gonna be a part of me my whole life. Dang it, I might as well enjoy it, and I might as well be excited and prideful and attentive to this kind of sports here because this is me. This is what I'm doing here, and yes, it's kind of morphed into more of the broadcasting side of things. But listen, I always have that itch of going to games when I'm calling them. I want to be in the stands. I want to be rowdy. I want to be part of the home experience. The arena, you get very close and very personal with the players, in terms of proximity on the court. When you shout, they hear you. The arena has, the fans there, the student section has a powerful influence on the game. I love being part of the game in that way. I love feeling like I have influence on the game. Every fan likes that. You have that opportunity here at Oakland University to do that and to take advantage of that. It's an incredible environment. It's accessible, and it's Division I college sports. So I, for one, encourage everybody, if you're on campus here, if you are even commuting, stay a little bit longer on campus. Enjoy some of these games. Follow social media. Keep up to date with when the games are. Bring your friends. Enjoy the game. Make an event out of it. The games are literally free, man. And to me as a senior, now I'm getting into I'm on my way out here at Oakland University, and forgive the disorganization of this little soapbox speech, but sports, I believe, are an incredibly important part of a college experience. I know not everybody's into sports, and not everybody has to be into sports. If you just don't like sports at all, then this isn't for you. But to those who are sports fans at Oakland University, whether it's of the Golden Grizzlies or not, college sports are to me, a key piece in that experience. There is no other time in your life where you can be in a student section shaving your head against free throws by an opposing team. You can't do that at Pistons games. You can't do that at Lions games. When you're a student at the university, you have so much more free reign as to how you could celebrate, as to the intensity of your cheering or trash talking. Like, it's the college sports environment allows you to be that way. It allows you to be obnoxious. It allows you to have fun and be wild and be with your friends. And, when you graduate, you can't sit in the student section anymore. You sit in the alumni section, which is, I'm sure, its own sort of fun. I'll find that out soon enough, but there's nothing like a student section. In the world of sports, there's nothing like a student section. At least here in America. I'm sure you could go to European soccer games and you get wild fans in that way too. But you're only a student for 4 years, sometimes 5. But you only have that big of a window to get the most out of your university sports. Only with those 4 to 5 years, and if you're a transfer, it's even shorter. Enjoy these sports while you can. Get rowdy. Get loud. Make sure that your presence is known. Make signs. Don't get kicked out, of course. Be respectful, but make signs. Paint your face. Wave a flag. Because you're not going to be able to do that for much longer. And for me as a sports fan, one who enjoys cheering, I'm getting everything I can out of this. And I hope that you guys share that sentiment too. You're only in college for so long. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of all the basketball games. Now, we got a few more home games left here in the arena. Sunday against Wright State, and then Detroit Mercy on March 2nd. Those are the times that we really need you. The teams greatly appreciate it. It has an effect on the game, especially for the Detroit game. That's a part of Oakland history. That's a tradition that we have here at the university, is the blackout game at the arena against Detroit, against a team that we share the state with in the Horizon League. Take advantage of those. There's only so many opportunities for you to truly enjoy them. And for me as a senior, I'm running out of those opportunities, man. I'm not going to be able to go to the Wright State or the Detroit game. Luckily that we have the 4th seed locked up and we have that home playoff game, I'm going to be able to enjoy one more game. Not as a fan, but as a broadcaster, but I'm still going to be able to enjoy one more game. All of you are also going to be able to enjoy that one more game. At that point in that game, it's the playoffs. It's our ticket to the NCAA tournament. This is one of the best teams that Campy's had in a long time. I'm speaking of basketball here, but to other sports too. I mean, this extends to all those sports, but there's not going to be all these opportunities for you to enjoy these games as a student. Take advantage of it. From a senior to all the underclassmen there to the overclassmen that I'm speaking to, go to a game. See what it's all about. Try it out. If you don't like it, that's fine. But for the arena at least, and this goes for the outdoor sports as well, soccer and baseball and volleyball. I mean, in the arena we have one of the most recognizable courts in the country. The blacktop is a unique thing. Only Oakland University has a court like that. When you're in the arena, you hear the voice of Kevin Beers, one of the best PA announcers in the country. 19 seasons he's been doing it here at Oakland University, and he's been good the entire time. We have the longest tenured NCAA basketball coach in the country in Greg Campy. You don't get that anywhere else in the country. When you're watching the baseball and softball games, you get the voice of Kevin Beers as well. Guys, you got to take advantage of this. I'm feeling old here saying this, but for me as a senior, it increases the urgency. You got to go to these games. You got to see what they're about. You got to take advantage of this opportunity here, because not all schools offer it as accessibly as Oakland does. Take advantage of it. Go to these games, see what it's all about, and listen to it here on WXOU Sports. All right. We got it all the way to the end of the show here. I hope you guys take that message to heart. I'll be preaching it into future JoMo shows here and there, especially as the graduation date closes in. But absolutely, take advantage of these opportunities that you got here at Oakland. Go to these games, man. If you don't like it, that's fine, but you got to go to them. So that will close out here on the JoMo Show. We've reached 1 o'clock here. Be sure to go to WXOU Sports. We got the interview with Libby Gentile from volleyball released just now, just this very minute. Be sure to go there and watch it. And for those of you who are tuning in at 1 o'clock, sorry you missed the entire JoMo Show. We talked all about Oakland sports, men's basketball, women's basketball, D3 hockey, swim and dive, baseball, and a soapbox speech from an old senior here from Giovanni Mosheri. So from Giovanni Mosheri, from the JoMo Show, and from WXOU, we'll be back here Mondays at noon. Well, we won't be back here, but the JoMo Show will still go on the JoMo Show's YouTube channel. Like and subscribe, 5-star the podcast, follow us on social media. You know the deal, and we'll be back here shortly on the JoMo Show. All right, that was all off the cuff, so I hope you guys are at least able to follow along. I'll refine the speech during future shows as we go, but I had to get that off my chest. I mean, actually, we had 10 minutes left to go, so I kind of had to keep the show going. But either way, I mean, it's something that I do truly believe. That's all from the heart. I'm deeply saddened when people don't know that we have Oakland sports here, but I mean, that's been part of the mission here from the JoMo Show, from WXOU, is to spread the word to those. I mean, that we have sports here. Take advantage of it, man. Not every school in the country's got this, and just because it's not on national TV all the time does not mean that they're worthless, man. This is free sports. Don't get any better than that. So I'll close out the stream here, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll have this uploaded later tonight as a podcast, both on YouTube and on Spotify. Like I said, we got the interview with Libby Gentile. That is now on WXOU Sports. I got the link to that one in the description of the live stream. I hope I do. To WXOU Sports. If not, I do not. But just search it, you'll find it. But yeah, we got that interview. She was a delight to talk about, or to talk to, with the interview. So go check that one out. And we'll see you guys back here on YouTube Mondays at noon on the JoMo Show. So thank everybody for listening. We'll see you.